Hey everybody, Master Morse is back. Today I'm bringing back my Amazons. In my previous video I stated these were basically just a collector's piece, but I got tired of just having them sit around. So there's some changes and there's a few practice duels. So hopefully this will sync up right in the real match. So to start off, got two of the queens, one Gila Glancer, three Paladins, one Unfriendly, three Amazona Swordswoman, and one Amazona Sage. Now, most people think of Amazona Swordswoman as one of your beat sticks, but really it's more or less a counter beat stick. Say your opponent pulls out a monster that can be destroyed by battle or whatever, and you got one of these or maybe a Rhoda in your hand. You grab one of these and send it for a kamikaze run. You lose your monster, but they lose the life points. So it's basically a sort of a bait and switch card. Alright. For your searchers, you got two Warrior Lady of the Wasteland, and for special summons, three Marauding Captain. And to finish off the monsters, Amazonas Scouts. Now this card you can run either 2 or 3. Their effect is considerably useful. You know, they keep your monsters from being destroyed, but they sacrifice themselves to do it. So, you know, if you got like a paladin or your queen on the field, and you're able to summon one of these, you can just sacrifice it, make your monster immune to spells and traps, and even monster effects, and then you could just go in for a beatdown. Okay. For the spells, I run 3 Village, 2 Heirlooms, 3 Rhoda, Reinforcement of the Army. I love that came back up to 3. 1 Warrior Return to the Live, 1 Dark Hole, and 2 Solidarity. Alright. For the traps, I run 3 Amazoness Willpower, which is something like Call of the Haunted, only better. Because with Call of the Haunted, your monster is bound by the trap card. But if this trap card gets destroyed, nothing happens to your monster. The only way this card would be destroyed, the only way your monster, it works reverse like Call of the Haunted. If this card is destroyed, your monster stays on the field. But if your monster is destroyed, then this card goes as well. Okay. You got 2 of the Dramatic Rescue, which is a bait and switch trap card. So you could like stick out a monster in defense mode, face down defense. Stick out one of your Amazons there, and when you're entering the damage step, you activate this, pull back your monster back to your hand, and you can stick another one out there on the field. So you could like bust out a queen, maybe they get some damage, or put another type of monster out there, like one of the Wasteland Warrior girls. Then you could special summon another Amazoness. So for your next turn, you'd have 2 out there on the field. Okay. Got 1 Copy Knight. Bit of an optional play there. Rising Energy. Spiritual Earth Art. Magic Cylinder. Draining Shield, Compulse, and lastly, Sakuretsu. Now, for the XEs, afraid I only got 2 for now. Photon, Popular Operative, and Utopia, of course, which is basically a standard XEs monster. I think practically everybody in the world got multiples of this guy. Alright. Now, with this list reading, I'm going to give you guys a side list, because there are like a couple ways you could run this deck. Alright. So for side deck options, you got 2 of the Amazoness Tiger, 1 Trainee. Now with Trainee, you could use this as a substitute for Amazoness Sage. And if you don't want to use Trainee, you could use Chain Master as well. Though Chain Master's effect is highly cost you plenty. You've got to pay 1,500 life points to get rid of 1 monster in your opponent's hand if they have a monster. So that's effect's basically a shot in the dark. Alright, next up is Unknown Synchron. Again, this is all up to you. You could use this if you want to try to run this deck like a synchro deck. So, Unknown Synchron is what I'd recommend. That or Junk Synchron. Either way. Next is Amazoness Fighting Spirit. It's 200 points better than Solidarity, but the catch is it only activates on the Amazoness monsters and only during the damage step when they attack. So during your opponent's turn, you're vulnerable. Alright. 1 Terraforming, if you want to search out the field spell. Queen's Pawn. You could use this one, you could use in place of the Copy Knight if you don't want to run the Copy Knight. Alright. And there's Negate Attack, Defense Draw, Butterfly Yoke, Dark Bribe, and Trap Stun. Now Trap Stun you should only run if you know your opponent. So if you're doing a friend and you know he like to lay down traps, you might want to run 2 of these. Other than that, for any deck you running, I wouldn't recommend putting Trap Stun in there. I'd go more with maybe Moonlight Beam or something. Alright. Well, that's it. See y'all tomorrow with another build. Trying to get a new deck surprise out there for y'all. This is Master Moss signing out.